right, here we go. I'm all connected to everybody now. Good morning, guys, and happy Friday. I am here as promised with a motivational message for today. This morning, I want to talk to you guys about facing adversity. And I feel like this is a very valid message as well. I get so excited when I am talking about these things because I feel like everybody can relate to these things. You know, I try to talk about things that are relatable to everyone. And hopefully, in the process, we'll be able to help someone. So that is the sole purpose behind me coming to you guys with these morning motivational messages. So, you know, I hope along the way that someone is being helped. So come on in. I know it's early and I know it's Friday and it's raining a little here where we are, but sometimes you got to dance in the rain. I said that to someone, you know, just recently because I know a lot of people complain about being in the rain, but I am one that does not complain about the rain because it's gonna rain. When it rains, I just thank God for cleansing his earth because we need the rain. So I am here with a message this morning I have prepared for you guys facing adversity. Good morning and happy Friday. So before I jump right into this information that I have gathered, I just want to take a few moments just to reflect on my blessings. You know, I hope that you guys are joining me in on just reflecting on your blessings. It is an absolutely wonderful way to start your day because whatever trials and adversity that you may face during the day, you will also be reminded that you are very, very blessed. So just a moment, you guys. Just, you know, thinking about the fact that God woke you up this morning. If nothing else, life is a gift and life is a blessing. So just breathe in peace and joy and release any kind of unwanted feelings, whatever that may be, you know, to you this morning, hurt or anxiety or pain or frustration or, you know, whatever. Just breathe in something amazing. You know, you can literally breathe it in by putting the thoughts of it in your mind and exhale something that is not welcome here. You know, we talking about good vibes only this morning. So once again, good morning, everyone, to my Friday crew. You know, I hope someone wakes up and, you know, say, hey, I'm going to jump on and get me some morning motivation because that is why I am here and I shall deliver. So like I said, I want to talk about facing adversity this morning. You know, that is, you know, however you want to say it, facing adversity, trials and tribulations, overcoming obstacles. You know, that is something that every single person on this earth can relate to. I don't care who you are or how you try to mask these things in your life. At one point or another, we all face hard times and trials in our life. So I believe anyone can be touched by this message. So let me just go ahead and jump right in. Facing adversity. And basically, I just, you know, looked up adversity. You know, I try to get a good understanding of the things that I am talking about on the regular basis. So, you know, I can have a basic understanding and also we can all be on the same page. So basically, adversity is when things and consequences turn against you. So, I just kept it real plain and simple this morning. All things are not going to go in our favor all the time. Things will go against us. People will go against us. Things will happen that are not always pleasing to us. No matter what we do, you can dot all your I's and cross all your T's, and you can do all the things that is necessary for you to do to stay on the right track. And I don't want to discourage anyone from doing that. By all means, continue to do the things that you need to do to stay on the right track. But just know that there is, it can come from any direction. You never know. You just never know what might happen in life. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. It's just life. That is just how things are. So I did write down a fact about facing adversity. Facing challenges are normal and they are inevitable. Things are there is absolutely no way of getting around it. So let me read that again. Here's a fact about facing adversity. Facing challenges are normal and they are inevitable. There is absolutely no way of getting around facing adversity. So inevitable basically means like it's going to happen regardless. There is just no way of getting around it, and it's a part of life, it's a part of nature. It happens in the jungle, it is just natural. It is natural, to face adversity. It happens in the ocean. It happens, with every natural living thing. It happens in the sea. You just never know, when, where, what, or how you might face adversity from time to time in your life. So I wrote down a few questions to ask yourself when facing adversity. Number one, what is my part in this? Because you want to be able to learn from your mistakes. I'm telling you, you live and you learn. That is one of my greatest mottos in this world. That one will stick with me forever. You have to live and you have to learn. You have to look back on what happened. What did I do when whatever situation arose or whatever happened to me that wasn't so pleasant or wasn't in my favor, or when I ran into this issue, or whatever. And sometimes it's not going to always be your fault, but by holding yourself accountable, you will open yourself up to so much more greater success. It is so much easier to point our fingers at other people and, it's your fault why I'm going through the things that I'm going through. And if you wouldn't have done this and then you wouldn't have done that, then, but what part there's no growth in that. Not being accountable for your own mistakes and the role that you play in whatever situation that you are in. And like I said, everything is not going to be your fault. Some things that happens that are completely beyond your control, but you still have to evaluate the situation and ask yourself, what part do I play in this? So that is my first question. My second question is, what is in my control? Because some things may absolutely be beyond anything that you could possibly control. And that is just the reality of it. What is in my control? And the third question is, what is out of my control? Like I said, you may not be able to control it at all. And that question is just as important as the rest of them, because we sit here. Let me tell you about us human beings. Number one, we sit here and try to take on everything, and we wreck our brains trying to figure these things out, and we worry all night, and we don't sleep, and we can't half eat sometimes, and all of that kind of stuff. And when it boils down to it, there is absolutely nothing you can do. There is nothing in your control. I mean, sometimes it is other people that does certain things, that it is just beyond your control. And you have to admit when things are beyond your control, and you have to release it. You have to let it go. So, it will save you a whole lot of frustration and agony and anxiety and worrying and all kind of things if we learn how to let things go. By evaluating these 3 questions, you can then act accordingly. You can act accordingly moving forward, because you won't be stressed out. You won't be worried if you just let it go. Like, is it anything? Like, is there anything that I can possibly do about the situation at hand at this very moment? And a lot of times, it ain't nothing you can do. It ain't not a single thing that you can do. Sometimes there are things that you can do, especially to prevent yourself from getting in that situation again. But sometimes it just ain't nothing you can do, and you got to let go and let God. How about that one? You just gotta let God be God. Sometimes we just take on too much, and it is not good for us. So every single person on this earth has and will face adversity from time to time. Everybody. I don't care if you from the royal holy house, or if you, I don't care who you are, where you come from. It doesn't matter. If you are a person and you are on this earth, you will face adversity. There's just nothing you can do about that. What the adversity is going to be, what the extent of it is going to be, I don't know. How often you're going to have to go through certain things. Sometimes we can control, how often we go through hard times, because or lack of, sometimes we can just let our life go. We can be too lax with our eating habits, and the things that we put into our body, whether it be drug. We talked about overcoming addiction the other day. The things that we do as far as addiction is concerned. Sometimes we could just let things go way too far, and then we're going through problem on top of problem, on top of problem, and on top of problem. And these issues are continuing to pile up until it just absolutely explodes. And, sometimes it don't have to get as bad as we allow it to get. Sometimes we can just let things go too far, and that's just the reality of it. I mean, I know I'm talking to somebody this morning, or it's either you or somebody that who could have prevented themselves from going down such a rough path. Not saying that there's nothing that you can do right now to pull yourself back and kind of like slap yourself in the face, throw some cold water in your face. I don't care what you do, snap out of it. You do not have to sit there and soak in your sorrows, and you do not have to continue to go through challenge after challenge and just not live such a good life. Like, there is things that we can do to manage, the adversity and challenges that we face in life. Sometimes there is nothing that we can do, but it's all the way that we choose to deal with these things. Life is never what happens to you. It is always how you choose to deal with it. Like, how you choose to, like, what happens to you is just this, like, boom, it happened. How you choose to deal with it is this. Like, okay, now what are you going to do about it? Sometimes we make complete mockeries out of ourselves. Even us as adults, we jump around, holler, kick, spit, slap, scream, and all that kind of stuff. It ain't my fault, it's your fault, and all this kind of stuff. You making a fool out of yourself instead of being able to be accountable. Learn how to be accountable for your actions, and do whatever that you can do, in your power, so you can live a better life. So there are things that we can do personally when facing adversity. So I guess that was the point of me saying all of that. So I did write down 3 things that we can learn from facing adversity. We can learn compassion for others. Sometimes we can walk around with this cocky, bull-headed attitude and all this kind of stuff. And by facing adversity, we will literally learn how to have more compassion for each other. If you are one person who hasn't grown how to learn how to be compassionate with other people, let times get rough enough, because you will be chopped down into size. It just happens. It happens to the cockiest of us, the bullheadedness of us, those of us who think our poop don't stink. Those of us who think we are better than everybody else. Go through a couple things. Go through a couple things. That's all I'm saying. It will allow us to be more sensitive. It will allow us to be more sensitive, more compassionate, and it will grow our humility. We are all human beings. There is no superhuman, and all of that kind of stuff. We have to learn how to be more compassionate towards one another. I mean, sometimes humans are so disappointing to me. I see animals that treat each other better than humans treat each other, and it's just sad. We can be totally, I don't care what religion that you are in, or what your family background is, just human beings, period. I don't care how much you go to church. I'm talking about them church folk too, who like to sit up there in a pew with their legs crossed and tapping their toes to the hymns and all that kind of stuff. You be the same one turning your nose down to people when you don't like something that they do, like you ain't never did nothing in your entire life. So, IJS. My daughter told me to stop doing that, but I'm just saying. All right. Hardships forces us to come face to face with who we really are, and it just does. I mean, let that thing get tight enough. Let that box get tight enough. Let that let that wall start. Get your back a little more closer up against that wall, and your true colors will come out. All the things that you try to keep covered up about yourself, and you try to put on this persona about how perfect you are and all of that kind of stuff. Let times get rough enough, and it will reveal to you and to others who and how you really are. And that is just what hardships does. I have saw people come into some very, very rough situations, and honey, I mean, they be all over the floor. They be and I'm talking about grown people. I am not talking about no kid. I got a bunch of kids, and I have saw adults act worse than my children when facing hard times. So it just does. Hardships forces you to come face to face with who you really are. It doesn't matter how strong. You can go to the gym 8 days a week and lift 500 pounds, but let times get hard enough, and it will show you how strong you are not. So it's not just about being strong on the outside. You have to learn how to be strong on the inside as well. We have to learn how to know ourselves, build a strong, firm foundation from the inside out that will not be easily broken. Like, I want this so bad for people, because me learning who I am, and me getting to love and learn and know who I am is one of the best things I have ever done for me. for myself. I am so grateful that I took the time out to know myself, to work on myself, to work on my flaws. No, I'm not perfect. Far from it, honey. I am a mess. I'm a mess just like the rest of y'all, but I know myself and I love myself. I know who I am. I know, my family background. I appreciate the strengths and the gifts that were passed down to me. I talk about how much I am like my father, like a spit image of him, and I appreciate those things, about my ancestors, and about, it's Black History Month. We still celebrating Black History Month, about Black people, and just getting to know yourself, and your lineage, and where you come from, and just you personally know yourself from the inside out and work on yourself. I'm telling you, you will be doing yourself such a humongous favor by working on yourself. And then in turn, when these hard times, and you are faced with these hard times and adversities, it won't be as hard to deal with them, because you know who you are. You know your strengths. You know where you come from. You will not be easily broken. Except that there will be suffering in life. Like I said before, there is no way of getting around it. We cannot change the external world. We only have power to change ourselves, and that will change the world. We can't change the economy. We can't change the price of eggs. We can't change our negative family members. We can't change, we cannot change the things that are going on around us. But what you do have the power to change is you. We don't realize how much of an effect that we have on the world by working on ourselves. Like, we try so hard to, control people. Like, we can just try to flat out control other people sometimes for our own comfortability. But instead of trying to control other people, learn how to control yourself and work on yourself, and you will see the world change, because you change. The things that you do to build yourself and to work on yourself has a major reflection on the world around you, on the outside world. I mean, we expose ourselves to social media and all of this kind of stuff. People see us. People see when we're a mess. People see when we're not a mess. People notice when we take time out to work on ourselves, and it is a beautiful thing. If you are one person who wants to have a amazing reflection on the world, period, the world as you know it, you see all of these terrible things happening, and all of this kind of stuff, and politics, and world leaders, and all of this kind of stuff. Do you know that the change can simply start with you? It's true. We are talking about learning how to face adversity this morning. So we focus our energy on the wrong things sometimes, when we can turn our energy around and focus on ourselves and have a better reflection of the things that go on around us. So, we have to do what we have the power to do, and we simply have the power to change ourselves. You will be more effective of having a good reflection on the world if you just simply learn how to work on yourself. Tragic events leads to profound breakthroughs, and that is just true. I mean, people who have, lost their limbs, or, I'm just using for instance, may have ended up in a wheelchair, or things like that. It just allows them to bring out the strengths in them. I was I was listening to something, and it was talking about one of the first largest sausage making companies, and this was like way back in the 60s or something like that. And the owner of the sausage making company was a disabled man, and he was a big strong man before he became disabled, and he did all of this kind of stuff. He owned a farm, and he did all kinds of farming and all of this stuff, and he had a tragic accident where he lost the use of both of his legs, and he had to figure it out. And instead of allowing his disability to control the direction of that his life went in, this man allowed himself to become one of the wealthiest people in the world. I mean, he turned that thing around. I believe the story was okay, so he owned a farm and farm animals. I believe he had pigs and stuff like that. So he started, slaughtering the animals and making sausages and adding seasoning and, packaging them up and all that kind of stuff. And that thing skyrocketed. I mean, it blew through the roof. And this man was literally like one of the first multi-millionaire entrepreneurs of the world. I had to look more into that story so I could get more details of it. But, that just stuck to me. And that was just one example how you cannot allow the things that happen to you control the direction that your life goes in. Like, it doesn't matter what happens to you. You can turn that thing around, and you can still allow your life to be whatever you want it to be. So, I mean, that story just came to mind because I always talk about how much I listen to motivational speaking and all of that kind of stuff. And certain stuff just stick to me, and it's stories like that I appreciate, when people push through their hard times and they use their willpower and they do not allow circumstances to, overtake their lives. So, the Scorpion moth. The Scorpion moth is North America's largest moth and species. It is also labeled as the most beautiful species in North America. Its thick, hard cocoon is very hard to hatch and break through. But without the adversity of struggling to hatch, it will never be able to spread its massive, beautiful wings and fly. Humans have tried to aid them in the process of hatching, which only harmed them and disabled them from strengthening their wings enough to fly. Don't abort the process. Don't abort the cocoon. Sometimes the struggle is necessary. That's all I'm saying. I'm telling you, it happens to the best of us. It happens in nature. It's the same thing. I was listening to something in these facts about the scorpion moth stood out to me. I mean, it is the wings. It looks almost like a butterfly, but it's more beautiful. And the size of it, like one of its wings is like 3 times the size of a normal butterfly. It is huge and it is gorgeous, but it is just the shell. I mean, it probably takes forever for it to break out of this shell, and it is just tedious and it's hard. But if you go in and try to like cut it open or help get it out the shell, it will never serve its purpose in life without that adversity of breaking through that shell. And that is with us too. Our trials have purpose. Like, we are all a part of this major plan. And I know we lose sight of that because we are here, we are so close to our adversity that we lose sight to the bigger picture, but if we If we take our mind off of, our trials and our tribulations and the things that we are going through and focus more on our higher power and our healer and the things that we have to do to get through these hard times, I'm just saying, like, there are ways that we can get through our trials and tribulations more gracefully. Like, it does not have to be so hard. We look for this comfort and gratification in people and boyfriends and girlfriends and drugs, and cigarettes, and all my nerves is bad, and you're chain smoking and all that kind of stuff. All of those things are absolutely unnecessary. If you learn how to work on yourself from the inside, that is a very valid point that I made earlier. It just makes things so much easier when we are going through the trials and the hard times in our lives. So don't abort the process. I know struggles are real. Like, you talking to somebody, like, listen, I know the struggle, it gets real out here, and trust me, I know you are not talking to somebody who just live in this land with peaches and cream and honey and melons, and like nothing has ever happened to me. That ain't me. I don't know who that is. Nobody, for real. And like I said, we all go through things. I know the struggle is real. I am not trying to minimize anybody's struggle or anyone's adversity or anything that we had to go through in life. But we all have to get through hard times as best as we know how. It is necessary for us to grow strength. Our struggles are necessary for us to grow the strength that we need to get to where we need to go. Sometimes some people just tap out. I can't take it no more. I'm just going to sit here and die. And that's just what some people do. They don't want to fight the fight. They don't want to, go through the struggle. They don't want to do what is necessary for them to live the life that they truly deserve. And some people just tap out. Like, that is never an option. Like, giving up is never an option. You always have to continue to fight through to the end, because you never know what may be waiting for you on the other side. So my advice to you this morning is, don't give up. Never give up. Never, ever, ever. I don't care how hard, I don't care how bad it looks, how hard it may get. You have to continue to fight through to the end. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. The night is always darkest and coldest just before dawn. And that's just how it works I'm telling you, y'all think we just out here going through stuff. Like, we love the sunlight. I remember me and my girls, we took a trip last year in May. Our Mother's Day trip, we went to Maldives. That was the second portion of our Mother's Day getaway. And we were in water bungalows on like right on the ocean, and it's like these little houses that like float right on the ocean, and they had like benches like right on the edge where the bungalows were built at, and the benches was there like strictly for the purpose of the visitors of the island to sit and watch the sunrise and watch the sunset. It was the most amazing experience of my entire life. So of course the sun rose at maybe like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I swear, for every day, we were in Maldives for 4 days, and I got up every single morning to watch that sunrise, and it was breathtaking, and it was cold, and it was like right dark, and they tell you what time they normally expect the sun to rise, and it was like a little brisk in the air, and then when the sun rose, it was like different like that. The warmth of that sun, like I can't even explain to you the feeling that came over me. And every morning when I woke up to watch the sunrise, it was still such an amazing experience every time. Like not one morning was less magnificent than the other. Like, and that's just how it is. I mean, you can use this in a literal perspective, or you can use it like as in facing the adversities in your life. So I'm going to say that again. The night is always darkest and coldest right before dawn. I'm telling you, it's dark. It might be dark and cold right now, but that sun is going to come up. I'm telling you, it always does. So I'm gonna throw a scripture at y'all. I didn't write down word for word with the scripture says, and I don't normally, get biblical on you guys because I hate to scare people away with religion, but the Bible is the book of life. It is they call it the good book. So it really doesn't matter what religion you fall under. A lot of people, admire the word of God that is in the Bible. But Philippians 4:8, and it basically says, keep your mind stayed on things that are lovely and pure and natural, and on good things. And I think that is probably one of our biggest struggles, is that we oftentimes allow our minds to focus on the not so good things, and that it brings us down. It brings our mood down. It allows us to not feel good. If we learn how to count our blessings, I'm telling you, I say this to you every time I come on here, we have to get in the habit of counting our blessings. I don't care if you have to sit there, think about it, write them down one for one, like, oh, here's another one, here's another one. It literally breaks open a whole new world when you learn how to reflect on your blessings and the things that you are blessed with on the regular basis. And this is basically what Philippians 4:8 says, to all my Bible readers out there. I know you probably are familiar, with this scripture, but like I said, basically it says keep your mind on things above and not on things below. And it says that for a reason. It will allow you to get through life so much more easier if we learn how to focus our mind on things that are going to help aid us along the way. I'm telling you, it will. And it's easy to think negative. It is. I mean, those negative thoughts will come like for no reason, unnecessary, stupid, negative thoughts, like things of the past, things that you can't control, and all kinds of things. I was telling you guys before that literally 94% of the things that we worry about are things, and this is what studies show over the years, like people talking to people and like, what are you worried about? How often are you worried about these things? Or what are you worried about? 94% of the things that we worry about on the regular basis are completely unnecessary worries. Like, we just waste so much of our time and so much of our lives worrying about things that completely don't matter, that will not serve our future, that things that don't matter. Focus is everything. Learning how to control your thoughts is everything. The things that go through your mind on the regular basis means absolutely everything. I'm telling you, it does. It's not easy. And if you don't learn how to practice on focusing your thoughts, then it's not going to just happen for you. It is something that takes practice. If you don't get anything out of this message this morning, learn how to focus your thoughts, especially on things that are positive on the regular basis. You will be doing yourself great justice by learning how to focus your thoughts on positive things. Go back and look up Philippians 4 and 8. I like reading from the New Living Translation opposed to some of the other translations that are not so easy for me to comprehend. So I don't know about you guys, but that's the version that I read. But Philippians 4 and 8, keep your mind on things that are good, that are amazing, that are lovely, your family, your future, having hope for yourself. Do not allow too much of your mind and your time to be occupied on negative things and things that are not going to serve you. Obstacles can either be the bars of mental prison or be a key to unlocking your full potential. I mean, it's going to be whatever you want it to be. I'm going to say that again. Obstacles can either be the bars of mental prison or be a key to unlocking your full potential. Is what you going to do with it? Okay, it happened. It happened. Something totally beyond your control happen, or it might be something that was in your control. We are human, we fall short, we make mistakes. Either way, you can't change what already happened. So the best thing that we can do with our obstacles is use them as our strengths to getting to where we want to be, to living a more harmonious, graceful, and beautiful life. We don't have that much time. We don't have as much time as we mistakenly think that we have more time than we actually do. This is a one-shot deal. Like, it just is. Like, sometimes, whew, child. I mean, I just witnessed people living life like they got 100 more waiting for them in their knapsack. Like, and that's just not the case. Like, this is literally a one-shot deal. If you don't start working on your life, if I don't start working, I want my life to be exactly what I want it to be. And there is no reason why it cannot be. So we have to take advantage of every opportunity right here, right now, to allowing our lives to be what we want it to be. I am talking about learning how to face adversity this morning. Of course, I come to you guys with my quotes. I wrote down, I believe, 2 quotes. The first one is Marcus Aurelius. I hope I said his name right. So he was a Roman Empire. Oh man, I didn't write down what year, but I believe he reigned his empire for like almost 20 years, and it was many, many, many years ago. And he was a Stoic philosopher. Many people looked up to him. He was an empire for almost 20 years for a reason. This was a very wise, logical, philosophical person who made a major impact on the world, so much so that you can look up Marcus Aurelius right now to this very day and look up quotes and marks that he left on this earth. So this is what he said. He said, the obstacles on your way is but a stepping stone on your journey. The obstacles on your way to where you got to go, because we all got to go somewhere. You can't just sit there. The obstacles on your way is but a stepping stone on your journey. And sometimes that's how we have to look at our obstacles. Like, okay, boom, it happened. I'm just going to keep on moving. Like, use it however you need to use it to get to where you need to go. It is just a stepping stone. I believe everything happens for a reason. Some things, they serve purpose. Some things last for a moment. Some things last for a day. Some things last for an hour. Some things my bad marriage lasts for almost 10 years. I got a beautiful son out of my marriage. I believe that it served purpose. I went through, I have a very powerful testimony. I went through many trials and tribulations in my life, but it wasn't until that terrible marriage that I literally buckled down and learned how to love myself for who I really was. So I believe that was the purpose of me marrying somebody that I ain't had no goddamn business marrying. I learned how to love myself. That is something that I never in my life learned how to do before I got into that marriage. So it was like, before I was like, dang, I gave him the best years of my life. It was like between my 30s and 40s. And, I really brought out the best in myself. I cleaned myself up. I gave my life to the Lord. And this Negro over here acting like cuckoo the fool. So I was like, dang, I want my 30s back, because it was basically like from 30 to 40. But of course I ain't gonna never get my 30s back, but I'm living my best life, baby. Like I am so glad that it happened, because if it had not happened, I wouldn't be where I am. Who's to say that I would have taken time out to learn how to love myself the way that I did? Just having to go through that. I fought through that thing like never before. I was ushering at my church at the time. I would go, and stay at the door as an usher with tears in my eyes. Like I was just going through so much. And you couldn't tell, because I still stood at the door in the house of the Lord, and I served God, and I did what I had to do, even in some of the roughest years of my life. Like literally, if I did not tell you what I was going through in those moments, you probably would have never known. And not that I was masking it or trying to cover it up. I mean, I was still sober. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I stopped drinking and all of that kind of stuff. So I wasn't trying to mask what I was going through. I was just trying to get through what I was going through, because I knew it was the other side. And I kept reminding myself of that through the roughest times of my life. There's one gospel song, Trouble Don't Last Always. Listen, that was my theme song every day and every night. Trouble don't last always. Ooh, I'm getting emotional just talking about it. But I remember going through some of the roughest times in my life, and I still had to bring out the best of me. And now that I look back on it, I thank God for those rough times. I probably would have never done the things for myself that I have taken the time out to do for myself. I'm a new person now, so I needed that. I needed to marry that person, that I ain't had no business marrying. I made sure I signed those divorce papers too, because what's done is done. But even that, it served its purpose in my life, because today I love myself. So thank God for that. Sometimes you just have to be grateful for your obstacles. It's all in the way that you look at it. A lot of times we think the things that are happening to us, sometimes it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. So basically, I feel like God was telling me, like, it's something I want you to do. It's something I want you to do. Like, literally, it's something that I need you to do. Okay, is this how I got to get through to your hard-headed behind? Like, what I mean? Like, you can't just stay stuck. And you will continue to be tested. You will continue to be put up under the fire until you get why you are here. It leads us to our destiny. When we go through these trials in life, it don't matter what the trial may be. It may be horrible, it might be tragic. It might be losing a loved one. It might be something that you have to go through in your health or in your finances, something devastating, anything. But you have to use it as a stepping stone in your life to get to where you need to go. So that was not from my notes. That was from the heart. But I am so glad that I took my time out to say that to you guys. Come on, y'all. We're going to overcome some obstacles. We are going to face adversity. We are going to look at adversity face to face, and we are not going to let it overtake us. So I have another quote that I wrote from Confucius. We probably have heard of Confucius before. He was a philosopher and a teacher. I don't know exactly where he was from. I didn't really look too much into who he was, but I know he made a great major impact as well. So he reigned for a long time, with certain people, especially back in those days. I think it was like triple digits. You know how we got 2023 now. It was like in 614 or something like that. So they put like A, B, C, D, and all these kind of letters in front of them. I believe it's because it was before Christ. But these things just go down in history. People like this, philosophers like this, teachers like this, they make such an impact. We look at the things that are going on now today, and I absolutely love looking into history and the history of people that made major impacts on this world. It means something to me. It kind of gives me a glimpse of hope that I will maybe make such a great impact that 1,000 years from now, someone may remember something that I said, one day. So Confucius said, everything has beauty in it, but not everyone sees it. Sometimes we can completely look past the beauty of even the obstacles that we have to face in life because we are so solely focused on what this person did. You got smart with me, and you all this slapped my baby mama, and we out for each other's necks and all of this kind of stuff. And we just don't, we take our, we lose sight of the beauty in life because we are focused on the wrong thing. And your obstacles, like I said, I would never minimize anyone's struggle or adversity or the things that we have to go through in life, but there is beauty in it. Whether you know it or not, if no one ever told you before that there is beauty in your struggle, because when you look for something, you will find it. Right now, you just think it's a big pile of mess, but look a little bit closer. Zoom into that mess that you think it is just in the way, and I can't wait for this pile of crap to get out my way so I can keep moseying on down the yellow brick road. Stop and look at that pile of mess, because it might be a diamond in the rough. I'm telling you. I am telling you, you have to look for the beauty in life. You have to look for the beauty in your adversities. It will help you along the way, and you will see purpose in the things that you have to go through on the regular basis. So boom, y'all got me getting all emotional this morning. I ain't even mean to go there, but like I said, I am so glad that I did, because I just allow God to use me and have his way. So no matter how I feel about the things that, I have to go through, it is a reason. I had probably had to go through the struggles that I had to go through just so I could sit here and tell my story and prevent some of you all from going through the same things that I had to go through. So there is purpose. There is purpose behind every struggle. I would rather be here, testifying to my bad marriage and testifying to my to my sobriety, because I know people who are not here anymore, who died out in the streets, who died. It's so many people that I know, that I have known personally, who are not here to testify to them overcoming, their struggles in life. So I am grateful to say I am a survivor of childhood molestation. I am grateful to say that, I will be celebrating 10 years of sobriety this year. I am grateful to say I signed them divorce papers. I took a picture of my divorce decree, and I think it I just celebrated like 2 or 3 years of being divorced the other day, and I started to post it on Facebook, but I said, no, I'm going to keep the excitement to myself because it came up in my memories on my phone, and I was like, wow, like it didn't even seem like 3 years, but I'm so grateful even for that 3 years. Like it just blessed me to for God to allow me to see how far I have actually came, and I've been holding it down, like, you know me, with God on my side. Like, I mean, we have not skipped a beat. He has not skipped a beat in every bit of those 3 years. I mean, it has actually been the most amazing 3 years of my life. But I mean, there's people, I like watching Fatal Attraction on TV1 sometimes, and where like the man ends up murdering his girlfriend or pregnant girlfriend because he ain't want her to have a baby and all that kind of stuff. And like, these men really be out here killing these women and all kinds of stuff, like, you know. So I know my situation could have been much worse, and I am so grateful. I'm grateful for my trials. I'm grateful for my trials to be able to say I have made it through the hard times that God has allowed me to make it through. Hard times literally helps us grow and helps us move forward. So you cannot be stagnant. You cannot, stay there and make a whole bunch of excuses of who shot John and Jack and Jill rode down the hill, and that's why you ain't got no money and all that kind of stuff. Like, you got to just get up and keep on moving. There is a whole life out there waiting for you beyond your adversities and beyond your trials and tribulations. So you heard it first. You heard it from what they say, from the horse's mouth. Listen, I've been there. I've been there. So you're going to be all right. I promise you that you are going to be okay. So I want y'all to repeat this to yourselves today. Listen, I got to give y'all some homework to do. I want you to look at yourself and repeat these words to yourself as long as Friday today is long, all the way till 12 a.m. If you got to get up and go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am a overcomer. Say this to yourself and convince yourself with everything that you have inside of you that you are a overcomer, because you are. You are. Like, you already fought your way through life to make it as far as you made it, even right now to this very day. So say that to yourself. I am a overcomer. Say this to yourself. Nothing is too hard for me. Nothing. Nothing is too hard for you. You can overcome whatever challenges that you face on the regular basis. I am an overcomer. Nothing is too hard for me. That is your homework, guys, and I want you to do it too. Write it down so you won't forget. Tie a ribbon around your pinky, and when you look down, you're going to say, what is this ribbon tied around my pinky for? And you're going to say, oh, I am an overcomer. Do that for yourself. I'm telling you, you have to speak positive things over yourself on the regular basis. It will help you so much along the way. So good morning to everyone. Thank you all so much for jumping in and getting some of this Friday morning motivation. I love you all. God bless you all. Look out for more motivational videos. Don't forget to look out for my books on Amazon: True Value, Knowing Your Worth, Walking Treasure, Discovering Your Hidden Treasures, and Feed Your Soul, your personal guide to health and wellness. I appreciate you guys' support. I appreciate you jumping in and leaving comments and everything else. Like, I see y'all. It's just that I'm on so many different devices, and I like to stay focused, because once I am not focused, I will completely lose track of what I'm doing and what I am saying. But I love y'all, and I appreciate appreciate y'all. Thank you guys so much. Share this message. You never know who might need this message. Slide it in somebody's inbox. Like, yeah, like I know you've been going through a couple things. This might help you this morning. So you never know. In the meantime, you guys continue to stay blessed.